Hey everyone, John here with even more Nintendo Switch 2 news. There's a whole bunch to bring into a neat little package. So let's begin with a brand new game. Now last week we saw that Assassin's Creed Shadows was rated for Switch, and this week another game has been rated for Switch, and this has been scrapped from the internet, but our buddies at Nintendo Life have preserved it. So a new game was rated in Saudi Arabia, and this game is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. This launched back in October, so around 6 months ago, on PlayStation 5, Series X, PC, and it's basically the fourth Budokai Tenkaichi game. It was not on PS4 or Xbox One, so no last-gen version. But it's also not much of a surprise, given Bandai Namco love to port Dragon Ball games. The Switch one was quite similar. It got Xenoverse 2 pretty early on in its life, then it got Fighter Z, and a bunch of other Dragon Ball games. So this really isn't shocking, but Sparking Zero was a fairly demanding game for what it was achieving, given there's no last-gen version. So to hear it's running on Switch 2 is pretty exciting, but also not at all surprising, because Bandai Namco love to do this kind of thing. I imagine we're getting a direct fairly soon, like maybe around a week before the system comes out, just to give early adopters a roadmap for what's actually coming, because after July, we don't know a whole lot. So maybe we'll see Assassin's Creed and Dragon Ball in that inevitable direct. Anyway, who wants more news? Well, here's the latest and greatest. Someone has already beaten The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Nintendo Switch 2 edition. And when I first heard of this, I said, man, this person is a hero. But I have retracted that a little bit. They're still a hero, but the save file they give you, it is with all of the Divine Beasts already unlocked, all of their powers, so it's not like they speedran the entire demo from the beginning, but it's still a lot more impressive than anything I could do with my life. So, round of applause to this person who has around 1 million views on this Japanese YouTube video for beating Breath of the Wild on Switch 2. It is very impressive, so I'm sorry that I tried to undermine your accomplishment. You did good. I was going to call him a kid, but I think he's older than me. But speaking of Switch 2 editions, allow me to introduce you to a brand new one. This is Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. And we knew that this was coming to Switch 2, but we didn't quite know the capacity. And now we know it is an upgrade. So if you buy it on Switch 1, and then decide you're going to get Switch 2 later and want to upgrade, there's no need to buy the whole game again. You can just buy the Switch 2 upgrade. And we know that this gives you mouse controls, which is massive for Layton, as well as higher resolution visuals. They say it's more expressive too. I don't think it'd be more expressive. I think it's just going to be smoother. But yes, you can buy the Switch 2 edition, the standard Switch version, or the upgrade pack. So it's cool that they give you all these options. And I imagine this is probably true for most level 5 games. It's likely true for Fantasy Life and Inazuma 11, Deca Police. I imagine it's going to be true for all of those games, so that is great. And we also have a statement from Marvelous saying that every game that they're doing will be on a game card. And we knew this was true for Daemon X Machina, but it's just nice to hear in general that a publisher is just outright supporting game cards. It's not a given fact, especially because we know that not only are game key cards prevalent, but download keys are still a thing. Split Fiction physicals come with a download, not a game key card. And I saw a listing earlier for Tony Hawk 3+4. And while this is not official, the store has in brackets code in a box. So don't take that as definitive proof, but it could quite likely come in a code in a box, just like Split Fiction, which would blow. But let's get more good news about game cards, for we have seen one. I'm just going to reach out to get a Switch game card right here. So this is a regular Nintendo Switch game card. Can it focus? You know what they look like. Obviously, we've only really seen a template and what game key cards look like. But now, we can zoom in on this art right here and see that it's pretty much what you expect. It's a game card, very much like Nintendo Switch ones, but it's red. But yeah, that is what a Cyberpunk card looks like. I know that is super, super small. It's not a big detail to know, but over the span of this life cycle, or physical people at least like me, will be putting in a lot of game cards over the system's life. So it's nice to have this tangible knowledge of what it's going to look like. So I think it's cool. And one more thing, Square gave us this giant blog post about Bravely Default HD. And there's a lot of cool things in here, like HD screens of the pre-rendered cutscenes, just a lot of raw gameplay screenshots. But one odd thing in here is they show the quality of life section and show you the random encounter toggle. And it's less quality of lifey than 3DS was, but there's context behind this. So in the Japanese version of Bravely Default, these were the encounter rates. This is parity with that. But in the Western version, you could turn them off. There was a 0 option. So it seems like this is based off the Japanese edition of Bravely Default, and it takes out the option to just outright disable random encounters, which is a downgrade. But yeah, that is how it is. We've also got a bit of how online looks, which is very similar to 3DS, but a bit more refined. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. What was your favourite bit of info in here? Let me know, and I will catch you next time, probably in a day or two, because there's always stuff. Bye-bye, everyone. Catch you later.